Good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon. I am coming at you guys live because I have gotten so many emails and DMs and questions, and you guys are posting on the comments regarding the new credit profile. So I wanted to pop in because I have not chatted with you guys probably almost like 2 weeks. So I'm gonna wait as usual for a few I can't talk today. For a few people to join me. And as usual, guys, guess what? I am not looking at two phones. I am only on one phone today. My other phone, I don't know where it is. I got one here. I don't know where the other is. My iPad is actually at home. I'm actually in the office today. I'm not here often as I usually work from home, but I'm here today. So I'm not prepared as usual because I don't have all my devices. But when you guys come on, say hello, say hello, say hello. We're going to get started in a few minutes. And for my hand's doing something really funny. And for those of you who miss it, who have so many questions, you can catch it live on my YouTube channel. So when you get a chance, subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Meek the One, as usual. Meek the One is my handle for pretty much everything. Alright, so I'm going to get started because my phone is only on like 15-20%, and I plan on hitting out of here soon. So the major issue, it's not an issue for me, but issues that I want to address, and how, guys, I really don't want to have to keep addressing this. I really don't want to, I'm not into convincing people. It's one thing to educate, but I really don't want to have to, I'm not going to convince you guys. So I have this thing, as many people do, the new credit profile, which most of you guys know it's no secret. It's the credit privacy number. Wherever there's good, there's bad. If you've researched the credit privacy number, you will not find any one system or any one answer that literally will say the same thing. If you Google it, you will find so many different answers regarding the CPN. You will find a site that will say it's legal. You will find a site that will say it's illegal. You will find a site that says you're going to jail. It's just mixed information. So there's no real concrete answer because there's not one answer across the board. So therefore, it leaves a lot of uncertainty, and that part I get. However, I'm not going to get into what my beliefs is and what the beliefs is. What I will say is that it works. I've had people who are probably watching now. It's the person now that's actually just watching that moved in last Saturday. Not going to call her name out because she may not want you guys to know actually who she is. So I'm not going to get into if it works, if it does not work. It does work. However, there is pros and cons to everything. Wherever there's good, there's bad. Wherever there's bad, there's good. So what I will say is that, in my opinion, it is not illegal. Now, it can become illegal and it can become fraudulent. So the first thing I want to talk about is the numbers. So I had a guy, and if you guys saw my previous post, I think I posted it sometime earlier today. It had where somebody reached out to me, and it was determined that the number that he had, he kept saying it wasn't working. Long story short, it ended up being a lady who had passed away, who had died. So he or she, whoever it was, provided this particular young man with a number of somebody that was deceased. You're going to jail. That's when it becomes illegal. You cannot use, guys, use common sense. You cannot use somebody else's social or somebody that's dead. Or I had somebody that commented earlier that said that they got a CP from somebody and it turned out that it was a minor. All of that is identity theft. So whenever you assume somebody else's identity, then yes, it becomes a crime. And yes, at that point, for any crime, it's most of the time it can be jailable. Like, we all have common sense regarding that. So you have to be careful on where you get these numbers from. You have to make sure that these numbers are not numbers of Social Security numbers that belong to other people. Now, here's where you'll have the backlash at. And I'm not going to get into how I create my numbers. What I will say is that my numbers are not stolen. They are not recycled. And they don't belong to older people, dead people. They're not listed in the social security system at all. So those numbers do not belong to anybody. They resemble those of what a social security number look like, and I do that strategically. However, I do not go online and just find people's social security numbers and think that because they've been passed or they, died a long time ago, it doesn't matter. Also, you have to be careful. People that have been incarcerated, a lot of the times people that have been incarcerated, you'll find that they use those numbers as well, because the likeliness of sorry, I had an ad pop up. The likeliness of that person, if they are in jail for 15, 20 years and you assume their identity, they probably won't know. So you just have to be real careful. And then people will tell you, hey guys, people will tell you that, it's a website called the SSN Validator. And they'll tell you things like, don't go on their website. It's just going to validate if it's a number. Go on the website, because if you go on the website and you type that number in and it says this number has been registered or whatever the lingo is to a person, then you know that that's somebody else's. Sorry guys, I forgot to put my phone on do not disturb. And if you go on ssnvalidator.com, like, it'll tell you if that number belongs to somebody. So in this particular case, if you looked at it, I left it up. It's not a secret. That number belongs to somebody else, and that person told them not to worry about it. So whenever you see that, that's a red flag. You want to be able to go on that website actually and see if that number belongs to somebody. Somebody just said that they just came in. What numbers are you speaking of? Hey, Just being Didi, I am speaking of the credit privacy number, which is a CPN number. That is the number that I'm referencing. So you do want to look on ssnvalidator.com, because like I said, if that number is listed, then clearly you are using somebody else's social. And again, we all know what that is. Another thing that's common sense. I've had people that call and they ask me, do I provide IDs? I don't provide any IDs. Here's the thing. Common sense logically. If you start tampering with state license IDs and federal IDs and all of that kind of stuff, that's a crime in itself. If you read it, it tells you can't change it. It becomes state property and all of that other stuff. So yeah, at that point, me personally, if that's what you want to do and you want to go the extra mile, by all means, I'm not here to judge. People do it. That's just not my thing. Because again, now that you're assuming a whole nother identity, it's a little different than if you're just switching. And this is my opinion too. If you're switching a number, and it's not even switching. If you're using, I don't want to say switching because you're not switching. If you're using another number, but you're still maintaining your identity. Because here's the things, guys. And if you go and research this, it is not a law and it's not mandated that you have to provide your social security number. You only are obligated to supply your social security number to federal and government entities, which is why if you've ever inquired about a CPN, they will tell you the first thing, don't go apply for food stamps, don't go apply for child support. You cannot buy a house, because those entities actually do require for you to actually use your social security number. So when you do that, that does become an issue. So you have to kind of stand clear. And I've had people who've actually done it. Again, I only can give you the game. I can't babysit and tell people. And some people have gotten away with it. I don't, and some, I guess if you Google it, some may not have. So when it comes to those entities, that's why they tell you you cannot use them, because it is mandated that you do. But when you're calling Verizon and Sprint and all of these other third-party vendors, you are not legally obligated to have to disclose your social. Now, what will happen is if you decide you don't, because that's your right and that's your freedom and we live in a good USA, they'll just deny you. I mean, in hindsight, that's just actually what's going to happen. But you definitely do have the right to not do that. So that's one thing. So if anytime you have to start using another ID and that ID says somebody else's name, the light bulb should go off. It should tell you that something with that is off, because now you are creating a whole nother social security card, which is again a federal offense. Now you tampering with an ID. So all of that stuff, when in hindsight, you can definitely go to jail on more than one angle, because you combine together, maximum charges, penalties, and all of that stuff. So you have to be leery. Hey guys, you have to be leery about that. So that was one thing. Again, you have the right. So the Equifax breach, the TransUnion, you have the right to protect your privacy. people are stealing people's identity at an all-time high. And I tell people all the time, and everybody think I'm this big conspiracy theorist, but the credit bureaus is a $1 billion business. It's so much bigger than Nino Brown, as I like to say it. It's bigger than most people can imagine. It's literally a $1 billion business. So even though you're just one little small piece to the puzzle, but it's billions and billions of people, and they make billions and billions and billions of dollars. So people will say that it's illegal, but it's been around. The only reason why you'll hear that it's an issue now is because, and let's just talk systems, it was never created for everyday consumers. That's one of the things. So now when you have a small minority, so to speak, and I don't want to make it a black and white thing, because guess what? This is white people thing too. So it's definitely just not a black thing. I think the black people are just starting to tap into it, but it's definitely been a blue collar kind of thing for years. It was created for a reason. CPN numbers didn't just drop out the sky, just like drugs didn't just come over in the USA. So all of this stuff was planted, and it was planted for a reason. But that's not what the video is about, so we're not going to get into all of that. However, now it's illegal because the small minority is starting to tap into businesses. They're starting to tap into credit. In a system that was created to keep us and people or whoever. Again, we're not going to start talking black and white, but it was a system to keep it in bondage. Let's just think, and I'm going to go off topic for 1 second, a car loan. I just had somebody who literally just left out of here, and I don't know if she's watching. She literally just left out of here from signing a bankruptcy. She has a 2010 Volkswagen. She owes $17,000 on this Volkswagen. It's worth $4,400. You do the math. So a $17,000 loan on a car that's only worth $4,000. So you got to think that's a $11,000. I'm not good at math. It's like a $11,000 profit just off of her. That's just her. So provided that she keeps the car and she pays it off and it doesn't get repo, she's already paid for what that car is worth 10 times over. So guess what? She's just one little small, again, piece to the puzzle. But you have so many people who credit score is like down in the dumps that does subprime lending. So you know how many pieces of that little puzzle it is. And now if you represent each little person at $10,000 a person, it's a $1 billion business. So do you really think that this system where they make money off of your bad credit, quote unquote, they don't want you to get hip and go out and get loans and go and get good interest rate, because they don't make money off of good interest rate. So while they do appreciate people that have good credit and it's great, that's not where they make their money off. So their interest is not necessarily in those little small populations of people who have decent credit. Their bread and butter is the people who don't have decent credit, who are in tough situations, and who sign their name on a dotted line and get enslaved to shit that just does not make sense. Like, I get it. I understand. One thing about me, when you come through these doors, I don't judge. I've been there. I've done it. I understand the sense of urgency. However, when you start thinking long term, it just doesn't make sense. It does not make sense to pay $10,000 on a car that's worth $17,000 on a car that's worth $4,000. So again, when you start hearing, oh, it's illegal, it's been around. It's not something that just dropped out of the sky. Yes, illegal because it was never created for you. It was never created for me. It was never created for us to get good credit. So you have to kind of make your own decisions when it comes to that. Do something or do nothing. That's my whole logic. You're not a part of that system. So I hear a lot of people like, oh, I watched a video with somebody who was doing a CPN, and it was as if she was a part of their team. And I'm like, you're not a part of that team. And I don't care how good your credit is. You're not a part of Equifax. You're not a part of TransUnion. You're not a part of Experian. You're not a part of the finance company. Like, they don't give a shit about you. So yes, it's great that you do it for you, but my credit is good for me. It's not good because I could give two shits about these $1 billion corporations, because at the end of the day, they don't give a shit about me. So anything that I can do to put me in a better situation in the whole, it's always going to be me over anybody, especially if it's not my kids. And that's just my logic. So when you hear that whole illegal thing and all of that, yeah, because you're not woke and they want you to stay asleep. That's all I'm going to say about that. I had somebody that say people go to jail. People do go to jail. And again, I'm not going to lie and say they don't. But read those articles about when the people go to jail. I Google them. I stay up on it. There was somebody, first of all, if you Google it, nobody, I haven't seen where people went to jail in recent time. Not to say they didn't, but I Googled some today before I did the video. Yeah, they had this one credit repair company. They did over $300 million worth of fraud. You're absolutely fucking going to jail. $300 million worth of fraud. Excuse my French. Yeah, you're going to jail. And what they were doing was they were creating whole new identities. They were getting loans from the bank, hundreds and hundreds of $1,000 loans, 300 and 400 people. And then the thing was, they wasn't even paying it back. So one of the things when you're doing things like that, think of it in common sense. Everybody's ultimate goal is to make money. So again, I'm not saying whether it's legal or it's illegal or if it's not. However, what I will say is, if you use a CP and you use it to obtain an apartment, as long as you pay your rent every month, you're not going to really get too much havoc from the apartment complex. Now, if because it's not your social, you think it doesn't matter, you don't care, you're going to go trash it up, you're going to leave, you're not going to give them the proper notice, then yeah, it's going to create an issue for you, especially when you're doing things fraudulent. If you think that you're going to go get a car loan and you're not going to pay the car loan and you're just going to ride around and bump and ball the city in a $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 car and not make a payment, yeah, you've already failed. If you think you're going to get a $10,000, $8,000 credit card and you're just going to just keep getting profiles to do that, yeah, you're probably going to go to jail. However, that's not what my program is for. My program is not to beat the system. It's not to cheat the system. It's not to get over. It's to make people whole. So for me, it's for people that need to get things. Because and if you've ever got one from me in my packet, you are responsible for all of the debt that you incur. So it's not one of those things where you just rack up a bunch of debt and then you say the hell with it, and then you're coming back and you're creating another one. Like for me, I don't even roll like that. So if I've created one, I'm not going to create another one. So it's a one-shot deal. You do it right and you don't. And if you don't, then you don't. But you can't just keep creating profiles and identities to do that. So that's another thing. What else? That was one. Also, it was another person that they were doing business credit, and I think they did like 100 million, I think it was. Then you start getting into federal because it's embezzlement, and it's just all kinds of stuff. So just like anything else, guys, just use common sense. It just use common sense. If you got to do too much, it's not worth it. If you need to get an apartment, it's fine. If you need to get a little car, it's fine. If you need to get a little credit card, which for me, what do you really need a credit card for? On a CP, unless you're using it for business. I mean, you can get them. However, I think people run into a lot of trouble doing that because most people have no intentions of paying it back. So for me, I try to have a gift of discernment. If I feel like you're just using it because you just want to mess up, you'll hear me say, yeah, I don't have any more. All my slots are filled, because that's how people get jammed up. So it's for people that are in good people who are in bad situations who need to have some type of relief. And that's just pretty much what it is. Like I said, if you gotta start doing too much, then again, it's not worth it. People will always say, and then you have to be, one of the other things too, you have to be mindful, guys, on who you get your information from. Because some people will only tell you, or their only experience is of what they've done themselves. So if they haven't done it, it doesn't work. No, it doesn't work for you because you don't know what you're doing. Or it doesn't work for you because you've never been exposed to it. So you have to be careful on who's telling you the insight. Like I had watched a video and it was like, it absolutely doesn't work. You can't go and get an apartment. I had 5 people last month who went and they moved. So it does work. I've had like 10 people who got Capital One credit cards. It does work. I've had 2 people who went and got cars. So it does work. But if you listen to that video, and she was almost convincing, like if I didn't know that this shit didn't work, I'd have been like, damn, it don't work. But it does. And I know it does because I've done it. I've seen it. So you have to be very, very careful, again, on who you, even with credit repair. I've had people that come to me and told me that they can't get apartments off of a credit report. Bullshit. You know how many apartments I've gotten off of credit reports? Dozens of them. I've had people that say you can't delete student loans. bullshit. You can. I've seen it. I've done it. So again, you have to be very mindful because people will only be able to tell you what their experience is. Now, for me, if it's something that I don't know, I will never say that it can't happen. I could just say, hey, listen, I've never experienced that. I don't know it. I don't fool with it. But for somebody else, they may have went further. They may have tried it. They may have got their feet wet in different things. So I won't be that person to tell you that, oh, it can't be done. I'll just say, yeah, that's past my level of expertise. And that's okay. Everybody don't know everything. And so just be very, very mindful and just exercise common sense. Like, I know you guys need houses. I know you guys need cars. I know you have things going on. But and some people are in dire situations. I get it. But you still have to exercise common sense again. If you can't go on SSN Validator and validate the number, or you validate it and it says it belongs to somebody else, or this person is dead and in jail or whatever, well, it won't say in jail, but if it says it's been issued, even if the person is alive, you don't have to be smarter than a fifth grader to know not to use it. If you have somebody that's saying, my name is Tamika, but they're going to give me a piece of paper that say my name is Susan, that's a red flag. You probably should not. Yeah, so just be mindful. If you need me, I am here as usual. I am your girl, Meet the One, for all your new credit profiles, all of your bankruptcy needs, all your credit repair needs, all of your credit building needs. I am rolling out business credit very soon, guys. I've been behind the scene working on that. I've seen all my boss chicks elevating and starting business and stuff like that. So I don't want us to just have businesses, because having a business is cool, but having a real business is having assets and money and tangible things. So I got that coming for you guys. I've been working really hard behind the scene because it's not enough to look like a business. We actually want to be businesses, and like I said, not just have tangible goods, but have assets and have business credit, because those things also can take you a mighty long way. Sure, no problem. Oh, I'm so rude. So I do have a few people that's watching. Sure, no problem. Do you guys have any questions that I may not have answered? I'll let you guys type in some questions really quick if you feel like I missed something. Nobody? Hey. Hey guys. Nobody have any questions? My big mouth addressed them all? Y'all know I'm a talker, so I probably did. Alright, so if you guys don't, and if you find that you're watching this video after I have logged off, you can definitely book a consultation via the website www.financialfreedomhelp.com. Listen, real quick about the consultations. No consultation, no conversation. I don't have a whole lot of time to waste a whole lot of time for a whole lot of time for nothing. So you guys, I love you guys. I love talking to you, but I cannot just talk all day long. As much as I like to talk, I just can't talk all day long. So you guys have to book a consultation. I get a lot of emails and I can't respond to them. I try to, but realistically, if you have a question and it's of urgency, I strongly suggest that you guys go on the website www.financialfreedomhelp.com to book your phone or in-office consultation. Like now, when I am in the office, although I'm not here often, I will come in for those of you who want to see me face-to-face, because some people just want that face-to-face interaction, and I'm cool with that. So www.financialfreedomhelp.com. If you're watching this on Instagram, it will leave in an hour. So what I will start doing is putting all of my videos on YouTube. I suck at it. I'm getting better, I promise. So follow me and subscribe to me on YouTube. Meet the One. I believe it. If it's not, it's Meet the One FFA. So try either one. Meet the One or Meet the One FFA. Again, bankruptcy, I'm here. Credit repair, I'm here. Credit building, I'm here. New credit profile, I'm here. Budget management, I'm here. Life insurance, I'm here. I'm here for everything. Business credit, I'm coming soon. I'm not here yet, but I'm coming soon. So you guys, I appreciate you guys so much. I love my clients so much. It's been real, and I promise to start logging in and chatting with you guys soon. Also, I got DIY books. So for you guys who have been scammed by credit repair and you tired of that, because it happens, go on the website again, www.financialfreedomhelp.com, and I have a credit building ebook, and I also have a DIY credit repair book too. So those letters and stuff that I don't necessarily, I use them, but I customize my own letters. But those are a good start. So I am out. I am leaving here. I've been here long enough, so it's been real. And I will chat with you guys later. Bye.